Hello and a very warm welcome. I hope you're all doing well and are as excited as I am for this very exclusive showcase, hosted by Qlik Partner Ambassador Christof Schwarz. I'm Sia from ancoreSoft and I can't wait to share this great content with you. I'm confident you will find it both informative and entertaining. So sit back, relax, and without further ado, handing over to Christof.
Thank you, Sia. Well, raise the bar, ambassador speaking. So, well, can I have a little bit of background music, please? That's a nice one. Okay, good. Let's get started. The app I chosen to demo this is a very well-known and old one. It's the consumer sales app, available on the demo homepage, and if you get a new tenant on QlikCloud, it's part of the sample apps. I checked out, made all of the sheets private so I can hack around on them, and we'll go straight to the KPI dashboard into edit mode and look for the Anchor extensions. So they are a custom object and they are in the Anchor toolbox. Eventually, if they don't show like this, there's a little bug. They only show if you open and close this accordion menu for once. We'll take the Anchor Share button this time. Script is for another video. And it initializes, and there we go. Here on the right side, like every extension, there are accordions. This is a licensed version. I can go to the button appearance. We call this the QlikWorld report, and make this a blue report button. Of course, you can style it as you like. So, and on the next page, the report settings. Here is a possible activation condition. That's always true for now, and that's fine. The page setting, we have an A4 format in landscape, and we use paging numbers on the bottom of the page. So we will keep this part short and go straight to the most interesting one, and that is the report elements. And here, note this pin icon and click it. It will show you a preview window, and it has two modes, a preview and a live draft. Change it for now for the live draft if you begin, and I'll explain what this does. So the first element to add will be a Qlik object. And it offers me the same objects and the same sheets as in the app in a kind of menu, and we will go for the sales rep pie chart. Apply this one, and now it shows me the object on the paper. Let's write another one, and this is sales over time, and we apply this as well. So the second object aligns underneath the first, and they have the same relative size to the page width that they had relative to the sheet on which they were placed. That is a good default, not always works if you want to arrange it differently. So you can go here to size and change it from automatic to something different. Whoa, wait a minute. Now at percentage of page size, 100, that wouldn't work. And now you could change to preview. It will get these objects quickly and shows you how they really will look like. So that's not what I was after. Let's change this to something smaller, like 30% of the size and 40 of height. And I go back to the live draft because I don't want to wait for the rendering against the Qlik API, which is a bit slow on QlikCloud. It's faster if it was Qlik Sense for Windows. And here, this line chart, we want to change the position of it. And it's under Anchor because it's a relative flow direction. And we want to have this right of the first object. And note, this could be below or right or even on top of it, which makes little sense. So the position, we could flip it. Can be interesting for logos more, not so much for the line chart here. And also here I would go for the percentage of only, let's say, 50% and a height of 40%, like the other one. Give it even a little less because I want the third object next to it. Let's place a third object for now, and then we'll be good. And this comes from another sheet, from Sales Performance. Here is a map object. You could go here and instantaneously say, well, put it up here, and now that we know the game, the height will be 40 and the width will be 25%. And now when we apply, it should fit well on the screen. We could even give it a bit more. Now we finish the edit mode and click on the button. Now it renders it in a good resolution, which is the second highest default. You can even make it more high res if needed. Let it finish. Because we have this window open, it doesn't instantaneously download. It makes here a preview first, and then you grab the file like this, or close this in analysis mode. And now that we zoom in, we can see a nice resolution. So only now pixels are starting to show, and we could, as I said, even make it better. But what I don't like so much is that the labels are truncated. And that can be fixed by changing the resolution. Let's edit this again. And it's similar like what the browser would do. If the resolution is not sufficient that all those can show, you can change here the resolution to somewhat not 100%, but go down to 80, 70, and you see then the labels are smaller and longer labels will still fit in. So we can do exactly the same with a reporting object here and find back that pie chart, and under size we will change this scale from 1 to something like 0.75. Okay? And we also want to add a title. And under the Add Element dialog, we so far have only picked objects. There is also built-in objects like a text, QlikWorld report, and we will position this in the center with a little bit larger font than now. It's good to have this live preview because you instantaneously see the result. Make this 18 in a different color. We will add also a tiny little border to it, and so on and so on. So you can see this here, and we want to position this before the other objects. So the sequence here, of course, is also the sequence the objects will get rendered. If I put this on the top, and the pie chart already says relative to the first object, which is now the title, it goes to the next line and it's below, it's already perfect. So we have it underneath each other, and now we have a title. Or, I mean, even easier, if this is something that always should be in the title and not a static text on that very spot of the report, you could say, when you add a text element in the position, that it's in the header. And that way the text will be on every page. Now we will add also a table object to it. Now that we have this lovely arrangement, we will select a Qlik object. Let's start with, well, this one here. How nice. A table object. The default will be again, it shows underneath the first, and it immediately says, well, now we have 2 pages. Why is that? Oh, wait a minute. It continues on the second page. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know, because if you would export the page with Qlik's PDF export, what you would get is actually just the image of the table. And again, now what I forgot here is the size of the table. We want to make this full width. And note that now I do not have a height. The height is defined by the amount of data, but the width should be 100%, or to make it fit to the rest, let's make it 95% so that it ends where the other elements end. And yeah, here I have a couple of more possibilities of styling. The font, let's say 12 points is a bit too large. I can change the header column, make this yellow, and I can even manipulate the column styles. Let's add a styler for the product margin and say margin manipulates the style by setting the font color to blue. To give you one example here. And as we apply and close this, you already see it got blue. Now this is cool. Let's get another preview of this. Now it's corrected to 4 pages, because in reality there are so many subgroups that in preview mode it only took first 20 lines or so. Now it takes all the lines that are available and creates 4 pages. And this can scale to very long tables with hundreds of pages if needed. And to show you this, I will go to the page where this object is resided, and we will add another column here. Let's change the dimensionality down to product level, not only subgroup. So it should now have way more rows. And let's generate the preview once again. And we have now 33 pages, and that didn't take not more time than before. And the reason is that the tables are rendered internally, while the graphics are fetched from the API, and that takes more time in cloud. It also understands pivot tables. Work it out and change this to a pivot table style. And pivots can, according to the settings, arrange objects like this. Here we have intended sub-chapters, and now we'll also get a preview. What will this do? Guess what? Let's download this and open in full screen. We see that this splits at the second product of the chapter bagels. So if I go to the next page, well, we were glad it continues with beer. There was no break here, but canned fruit continues here, and it repeats also the text on the next page from the category. Here's a good example. Cheese also starts here, continues here, goes even to the third page. So many cheese we have in our product portfolio. How nice is that? And this goes on, of course, until the last page. So for the purpose of the exercise, I would like to loop now the reports over the 4 regions that we have. So I will go back to the QlikWorld report and add a page loop to the whole set. So here, this text was the header. If you want to remember this, you can give this meaningful titles. So I scroll this up to the top. That is not affected by any page loop, but now we add a cycle start. The cycle start goes here and ends at the bottom. I didn't tell yet which field to cycle on, so I can say start a cycle on a new page, which I like. There can be a maximum of, by default, 5. I want all of them. If I search for the region name, we have only 4 regions, so that's okay. And now I would like also the title that we have here, the text, to contain a calculation. So this is QlikWorld report for region, and I add the region name also to the text. And let's generate again the preview. You see in the back there are selections applied. So the charts are changing because the printing, the export is a client-side activity. It acts with the session and it applies selections, picks the exports and makes the next selection. So now we have 130 pages. Give me that downloaded, and you know, when the page breaks, the region is now Western, and we see Western states, and we scroll down here in the previews, and it goes to the next region, and it's the central region with another pages, and so on, so on. So it breaks on the page. The title, as we said, is on every page. The footer is on every page. So that's actually already pretty complex report solved in not too much time. And the last thing I would like to show you is the possibility to export tables also into Excel. And so that we save a little bit time here, let me change back that very detailed table object to contain not the products but just the subgroup anymore. And let me also make a little selection here so that we do not loop over all the regions for the time being. Let's just pick the southern region for now. That's enough, and I'll go back to the report setting. And what I'm going to show you now at the end of this demonstration is the different export formats. Well, we've seen PDF. There is also PowerPoint, and if you preview a PowerPoint, it will not do it in this window because there is no office in this little preview window. It will instantaneously make an export. You're waiting here now for the report, and if you need a backend solution, of course the whole thing is also available as a server-side solution that allows scheduling. It's a different product, but the button here does everything client-side and ad hoc. So now it has created that export, the report, and it will open in PowerPoint and show me the page exports. And last but not least, there's also data exports. And data exports will export every table object as Excel if you have enabled it here. So there's under data export in the object there is file type XLSX, and here you can set a file name and you can set a worksheet title, and that's especially good for looping, as we do here the cycling, to get them exported into one Excel with different sheets. Let's hit the preview. The Excel will only contain the table information, producing 2 sheets in my Excel. So the file called Christof's is here. And here is the data of the central and the southern region as expected. Well, and with this, I'll hand it back now to Sia. That was my demonstration of ancoreShare.
Christof, thank you so much for this great introduction of ancoreShare. A whole in-app reporting suite in just a single dashboard button without any additional software or services. Just a native standalone Qlik extension. I love to see how our tools come to life in real use cases and when real users work with it. Thank you again for sharing this with us. Now I hope you all had a great time and enjoyed those insights as much as I did. In the name of our crew, I wish all you data captains out there a great rest of your day, and as always, fair winds and following seas.